This next question comes from Yarden on character number 162, tai, which is the new vocabulary unlocked lesson, which is tàitai, which means wife. And his question is it also used in daily life or just in books? And the answer to this, and I know why he's asking this, because there's a couple other words for wife that people will use. The most spoken one is lǎopo. That's very spoken. You won't see that one in speech or in written form unless it's a dialogue between characters in a fiction or something like that.
By the way, it doesn't mean old woman. Lao is like 老师 or 老外. It's like Lao is like it's actually a term of respect in a way,
right?
Depending on your tone of voice. So po just means woman. It's just a word for woman, and Lao it's basically just my woman.
Yeah,
you know, my respected woman, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And so like that's a prefix version, so I'll link to that below.
Yeah.
And by the way, we had a I'll link to the vocabulary article that relates to why there would ever be a word 长大 or 长长, but I'll do that. That was from Sydney's email. Now, Yarden, when he asked this, so there's 老婆, which is the very spoken way. There's qīzi, which is kind of, I would say, sort of in between. And then you have tàitai, which is the most formal, but it's still used in day-to-day life. Absolutely. It's just, again, it's what situations are formal and what are not.
I would say tàitai is most commonly used as saying just Mrs. So Mrs. Smith would be Smith tàitai, you know, or Mr. would be Smith 先生. You know, it's just 太太 and 先生 sort of. And but I've heard people say, you know, 我的先生, my husband, as well as 我的丈夫 or 我的老公. You know, they're all sort of interchangeable in a way.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Yo Lao Shi always used to say 我的太太. Now, he's a teacher at a university, but he did use to always say tàitai. And, you know, so it's like, it is the most formal, but again, the red line you want to draw between spoken and written Chinese is more that spoken can't be used in written, less than written can't be used in spoken. So if you see something that's quote-unquote written Chinese, you know, there's some parts of it that are exclusively used in written, but it's pretty rare that it's like, no, you can't say this in life. Just be aware that if it's written, it's always going to come off more formal. And yeah, in the case of wife or husband, I mean, they're just such common words. I feel like it's just variety to some degree. People just want to not say the same word all the time. So,
but just for simplicity, go for 老婆 or 老公 when you're speaking. Yeah, just as if you're picking one to go for.
Yeah.
We've got an email here from Chad. Quick question for 不过. It says that is spoken, the spoken but. Now, can 但是 also be used in spoken form? Again, this is similar. I'm fairly certain I heard 但是 used for but in the new show I'm watching. I think I replied to this. I've answered this question a couple of times in the past, actually.
Yeah. Well, first of all, it's the same answer we just gave to Yarden. 不过 you'll use in speech if you at any time, but you won't use it in writing. If you're writing formally, you won't use 不过 in writing. But there also is a little bit of a difference in meaning. So you're going to say?
Yeah, so I mean, 但是 is actually, and you can sort of use this to use the 2 fourth tones to remember, like 但是 it's a bit more unexpected, or it's a bit more, what would you say, exaggerated in its meaning. So it's like, so I imagine like Columbo coming in, but just one more thing. Let's be like 但是呢, you know, it's more sort of strong there. 不过 is sort of like in the middle of in the middle of something.
The way I remember 不过 being a little bit less, because there is a slight difference in meaning, which is more to do with the tone of the words, and that's that, you know, 不过 is like maybe you're using 不过 if you want to be nicer, I guess. So like maybe, for example, you're in a situation where you're giving somebody some slightly negative news, but you're going to tell them like why you're going to fix it. So it's like, you know, I can't make dinner right now, but I'll make it in 15 minutes. Like it's kind of like it's more positive, right? Yeah. And so 但是 is not necessarily negative, but it's like more likely to be used in a negative context.
Yeah, and then you got 可是 as well, but that's sort of more soft, like 不过, I guess.
Yeah. I would agree.
But yeah, that's the 2 main differences. There are a few more differences between these, but we don't need to go into that right now. Just for spoken, that'll do.